Hi, I'm Ryan, analyst here at Talos Drones, and I'm here to show you the new update with the Talos T60X and some of the important features to keep note of and what you will most likely use out of this update. All right, so first things first, we have our remote powered up, drone powered on, everything good to go. I'm gonna show you. So the firmware update, as you can see here, the version number for the remote is now 0032. And for the drone, it's 0901. And if we take a look at the drone, this is what's on the new update. So I'm only gonna be going over, there's a lot added in this update, but I'm only gonna be going over a few things that I believe are most useful for your operations and can make your operations go by a lot smoother and faster. So the first couple things is the merge field function and the plan multiple fields function. And then there's also a custom route mode that you can add as well. So those are just, as you can see, those are just only a couple of things in this update. But you can see there's a lot of things here, from added support to generate return points, add an entire 3D flight route segment. There's things like support to complete and delete ongoing tasks and batches. Yeah, there's a lot of quality of life and a little bit more smoother operations in this update. So now to show off the multiple points that I talked about, I'm gonna press begin, and it's gonna take us to the usual route mode. So kind of typically like how you're doing your own, your normal missions. But now on the right side, you're gonna select the four pink squares, and now we have multiple options here. So the first one we're gonna show off is multiple plots. So for this one, you're just gonna go about like creating a normal boundary. Multiple plots will be for if you have, as it states, multiple plots and you just want to kind of quickly map out each plot in just one go. So now all you have to do is go about as normal, like you're creating your own, like a normal boundary. So we're just gonna create one here. And then once that's done, you're just going to tap the beginning one and tap the endpoint. And that'll create your first plot. So now we can move on to creating the second plot. Now you can see here there's a break. So all we have to do is just tap these two to connect them, and then tap these to connect these. And it creates its own map and another one. Let's just say another one here. Once that's done, we have our dash line. Just gonna tap to remove that. And then we're going to tap these 2 points. And now we have our 3 maps. And then once you're done, you can add your obstacle points. It's basically just allowing you to create multiple fields in one go. So everything, creating obstacle points, creating no application areas, anything like that, it's just operating as normal. So you're just going to do save. We can name this. All right, and it saves as multi-plot, plot 1, 2, and 3. Now, if you want, you can basically just use all the 3 of these fields and have the drone fly doing multiple missions, basically a multi-field spraying. So now once we have that, you can see on the left here as well, they show up each as individual missions as well. Cool, so this is just to save time on, let's say you have multiple plots in your field and you need different scenarios, but you just want to create you just want to knock everything out all at once. This is a great way to kind of make that process faster. All right, so we have our 3 plots. Now the next function I'm going to show you is the combining plots function. So I want to combine plot 1 and plot 3. So I'm just going to select these 2, and you now have an option on the right that says merge. Distance between fields is too great. So what we can do, we could just offset. So I'm gonna edit this. And I'm just gonna move it a bit closer. So now save. All right, so now let's try this again. I'm just going to merge. Now it creates one gigantic field, combining both of the fields that we had earlier. And if you want, that gap that was separating the fields, you can also create a non-spraying area within that gap, so the drone does not spray. Let's say if it's a road or anything like that in between these fields, you can create a non-spraying area for these fields. So we just do confirm. And you can see here, now it combines the two fields together and it creates an operation based on that combination. Now, the next thing is, we can just save this as merge multiplot. Yep, cool. And the next thing is the custom route. Let's say you want to fly your drone, but it's a very specific route you want to follow. We can create a custom route where it is, instead of plotting the boundaries of the points, we are plotting where the drone is flying. So we're just going to do the normal add. It'll be labeled as boundary point, but since we are in the flight route setting, it is, you're basically pinning the points of each corner of the flight route that the drone will be flying. So you can see here that I kind of made some shrimp-shaped route that the drone is going. Same thing as mapping before, there's also non-application if you want as well. So it's essentially creating a, same functions as creating a field by itself. But instead of mapping the boundary points, you are just mapping the route. So if we create an obstacle as well, here we can, when we create an obstacle point, since we are only mapping out the route, it will not map out specifically, generate a route around the obstacle point. Since we are doing specifically the route, you will have to map it out yourself. So just going to delete the obstacle so everything's good to go. And now that we're showcasing that, for this one, we are going to take off 4. So custom route. So now that we have all these maps made, the first one I'm going to showcase off is the custom route mode. So we're going to watch the drone as it flies this kind of shrimp shape. Select use. And then just to be safe, we are right next to a pole. So I'm just going to make a connection point right there. And start. So one thing to note with the merge multiplot, it saves a third plot. So it's not combining, or it's not saving over or modifying the two fields that I made. It is creating a third field based on those two fields. So as you can see here, I was still able to edit the original field and move it over a bit, and the merge plot still exists right there. So for example, right here, we have this first plot, and I want to edit this one specifically. So I'm just gonna move it over to the side. Save. And we can still see the merge multiplot still exists right there. And even if I do this, let's say, delete these, this multiplot as well. Not this one. Now the merge plot still exists right here. So now we can edit this. Cool. And now just save. Cool. So now the merge multiplot, it is essentially creating a third field on top of the two fields that you wanted to combine. So you still have the option to separate these fields as you wish. Something I'm going to do is now we have, I'm just going to combine all three. So merging these and generating a non-spraying area right there, confirm. So now we have these fields right here, and all three of the multiplot fields are now connected. So now it is just operating as a normal field, basically as like a normal operations field. So we're just going to do save. Now we have merge multiplot 3. So that's a little too long, so I'm just going to leave it Merge multi, there you go. And as I said, it is just like a normal field for your normal operation that you can start on. All right, so those are some of the key features of the new update with the Talos T60X. Another feature that I wanted to save till the end was the geolocking. So a lot of people asked about the geolocking with the drones not being able to fly around airports or anything like that. That has been lifted, so you will get a warning when you are in the area, but it won't completely ground your drone when you are near an airport. But like I said, it will give you a warning and it will give you a disclaimer that you are flying near an airport and that you are responsible for the liability of anything that happens while you are flying within that airspace. So I know a lot of people requested about that, and so that has finally been changed and added to the T60X, or at least the most common features that I think people will pretty much use the most. So that being the geolocking, the merging fields, multi-plot, and then the route mode. Obviously, as I shown before, there are more features that were added within this update, but those are just the ones that are kind of like bigger to point out, and the ones that people will probably use the most. All right, and just to note that this is the first of many updates to come with this drone, so stay tuned. There's going to be more updates, more quality of life changes, more fixes, more anything like that, just based on what customer feedback and what we find with these drones. So yeah, again, I'm Ryan, analyst here at Talos, and that is the new update with the Talos T60X.